Title: The Day a Chinese App Outsmarted Nigerian Banks and Won the Street. Part 1. The Ambush Nobody Saw Coming. Let me take you back to a Tuesday morning in Lagos traffic. You are stuck at Oshodi. Danfo horns are screaming. Your phone buzzes. Insufficient funds. Well, again. The POS guy at the kiosk shakes his head. The bank app is loading. Loading. Crashed. Then the girl beside you taps her phone once. Ping. Payment goes through. You lean over. Green logo. Pay. That was the moment Nigeria's financial war changed. Not in a boardroom. On the street. Before OPay, digital payment in Nigeria meant one of three things. Your bank's app, freezing at month end, a POS machine eating your card, or standing in a line so long you could age. The big banks owned the buildings. The telcos owned the airtime. The fintechs owned the hype. And then Pay showed up with Okada riders, free transfers, and a war chest from China. Everyone laughed. Another foreign app, they said. Nigerians trust their banks. 2 years later, those same banks were copying OPay's agent network. MTN launched Momo. Flutterwave built storefronts. Palmpay started giving out cash boxes. But Pay had already eaten the street. So how did a foreign-led company walk into Africa's most chaotic market and outplay banks that had been here since independence? And more importantly, if you are unemployed, underemployed, or trying to start something with zero capital, what can you steal from their playbook today? This is part 1 of our OPay Nigeria case study. We are breaking it into 3 parts because the story is too big, too tactical, and too useful to rush. By the end of all 3 parts, you will have a real blueprint for handling brutal competition, whether you sell Zobo, code apps, or run a POS shop. But first, let us set the battlefield. Nigeria's payment war. Before OPay understand OPay's moves, you need to feel how bad things were. Banks. They had the licenses, the trust, and the ATMs. But they also had downtime every salary week, N52 transfer charges, and branches that closed by 4 p.m. For the average Nigerian, banking felt like punishment. Telcos, MTN and Airtel had the users. Millions of SIM cards. But regulation kept them from doing real banking. So they sold airtime and data, while millions of market women stayed cash only. Old fintechs. Companies like Paga and Quickteller built agent networks first. Smart, but their apps were clunky, transfers were not instant, and agents still preferred cash because reconciliation was a headache. Then came 2018. OPay Nigeria launched, backed by Opera's browser billions. The goal was not to be a bank. The goal was to be everything: ride-hailing, food delivery, bill pay, loans, and transfers. A super app. Everyone called it reckless. You cannot fight on 5 fronts, analysts said. They were right. And that is exactly why Pay won. The 8 principles. How OPay handles competition in Nigeria. Forget textbooks. Here is what Pay actually did on the ground. We will cover 4 principles, part 1. Then 4 more plus mistakes and lessons in parts 2 and 3. Principle 1. Attack where the giant is asleep. Banks loved high net worth customers. Victoria Island accounts. Big transfers. Corporate clients. OPay went to the people banks ignored, the woman selling pepper at mile 12, the Okada rider in Napotan, the student in Nsukka who needed N500 airtime at midnight. How? Free transfers. 0 to N10 charges, when banks were still charging N52. For a trader, moving N2, 0 10 times a day, that was N520 saved daily. In a month, that is N15, 600. Rent money. GTBank and Access could not respond without killing a major revenue line. By the time CBN forced all banks to cut charges in 2020, OPay had already moved 3 million users, versus others. While Kuda was fighting to be the bank of the free, targeting young professionals with cool cards, OPay was onboarding Mama Put with a USSD code and an agent who spoke her language. Different battlefields. For you, if you are unemployed, do not fight for the same job 10,000 graduates want. Find where the big companies are too slow, too proud, or too expensive to serve. That is your opening. Principle 2. Use humans as your API apps do not build trust in Nigeria. Capopoldo. Apple understood that before anyone else. Instead of burning cash on billboards, they recruited over 500,000 agents, mostly existing POS operators, shop owners, and even unemployed youth. They gave them branded kiosks, instant settlement, and commission on every transfer, bill, and bet payment. Suddenly, your neighbor became your bank. No ATM queue, no network, just Auntie busy. Send and 3K for me. Banks tried this with bank agents, but drowned them in paperwork. MTN's Momo agents could not cash out easily at first. OPay agents got their money instantly. So they pushed OP harder. Versus others, Palmpay came later with similar agent perks, but OP had already mapped the streets. In business, being first to empower the middleman wins. For you. If you cannot afford ads, afford relationships. One trusted person telling 10 people about you beats 1,000 flyers. Principle 3. Lose money to buy time. This is the part that makes old-school CEOs uncomfortable. OPs bet aggressively. Free transfers. Cash back on airtime. Discounts on ride and food. They were not profitable. They were buying behavior. In 2019 alone, OPay's parent company Opera poured over $120 million into Nigeria. Regulators banned their bikes. They pivoted in weeks and doubled down on payments. Why? Because once a market woman trusts your app to pay her supplier at 5 a.m., she will not leave you for a bank that opens at 8. Banks could not match this. Their shareholders want quarterly profit. OPay's investors wanted market share. Different games. Versus others. Many Nigerian startups die because they try to be profitable in year 1. OPay played a 5-year game in a country that thinks in weeks. For you. If you are underemployed, invest your time before you ask for money. Offer free value first. Let people owe you trust, not cash. Principle 4. Build a loop, not a product. A bank gives you an account. End of story. OPay gave you a reason to come back every hour. Pay your light bill, get cash back. Use the cash back to buy data. Buy data. Get a coupon for Obus. Take Obus. See an offer for a loan. We pay the loan. Your transfer limit increases. Each product fed the next. So when Ride was banned by Lagos State, users did not delete OPay. They just used more transfers and bill pay. Flutterwave and Paystack built amazing tools for businesses. But the end user did not feel it daily. OPay lived in your pocket, not your checkout page. For you. Do not just sell one thing. Ask, after they buy from me, what do they need next? If you braid hair, sell hair cream. If you tutor, say past questions. Loops beat single sales. End of part 1. So here's where we pause. OPay did not win because it had the best tech. It won because it understood Nigerians better than Nigerian companies did. It weaponized free, used people as infrastructure, burned cash with a plan, and trapped users in the loop of daily value. In part 2, we will break down the next 4 principles, including how OPay turned regulation into a weapon and why their ugly app beat beautiful apps. We will also expose 3 mistakes other companies keep making that guarantee they will lose to the next OPay. If you are an entrepreneur, job seeker, or just tired of being on the losing side of Nigeria's economy, you need this full story. So do this now. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on notifications. Part 2 drops this week, and I will show you the exact steps to apply OPay's playbook, even if you are starting with 0 naira. Comment, Part 2, free turkey. See you there. Title: The Day a Chinese App Outsmarted Nigerian Banks and Won the Street. Part 2. The silent weapons OPay used while everyone was watching the bikes. Remember where we stopped in Part 1. OPay had just lost its bikes. Lagos banned a ride. Pundits were writing obituaries. Foreign company done. Pack up and go home, they said. But while Twitter was dragging Opera, OPay executives were popping champagne. Because the bike ban was the best thing that ever happened to them. Here is why. Distraction. While competitors, regulators, and media obsessed over Okadas, OPay moved 90% of its war budget into payments. No more subsidies for riders. No more fights with NUR. Just pure, Brutal focus on becoming the app you open before you open your bank app. That is lesson 1 for today. But we have got 3 more principles, 3 big mistakes others made, and the lessons you can use whether you are job hunting in Ibadan or running a pulwas at Nabathi. Let us go back to the battlefield. The remaining 4 principles. How OPay Nigeria handles competition. Principle 5. Turn regulation into a moat, not a tomb. In Nigeria, regulation can kill you or crown you. Most startups spend their life complaining about CBN, NCC, or LASG. OPay studies them. When Lagos banned bikes, Uber and Gokada lobbied. Bolt pivoted to cars. OPay? They shut a ride down in days and relocated staff to agent support. No severance drama. No press war. Why? Because they never saw themselves as a bike company. Bikes were customer acquisition. The real business was the wallet. Then CBN dropped the PSB license hammer. Telcos could finally do payments. MTN Momo and Airtel Smart Cash came out swinging. Everyone panicked. OPay did 2 things. 1. They doubled down on agency banking. Before telcos could train agents. By the time Momo launched, your street already had an OPay kiosk. Habits were set. 2. They got their own microfinance bank license. So when CBN started clamping down on unlicensed fintechs, OPay had paperwork. Palmpay scrambled. Kuda was safe, but dozens of smaller apps died. Versus others. Traditional banks use compliance as an excuse to move slow. CBN said, they tell you. OPay uses compliance as speed. They hire ex-regulators, read circulars before you do, and build products around the next rule, not the last one. For you. If you are unemployed, stop saying, no jobs. Study what government is funding next. Anchor borrowers program, tech training grants, health insurance enrollment. Regulation creates waves. You either surf or drown. Principle 6. Make your product ugly. If it makes your user rich, open Kuda. Beautiful. Open chipper. Sleek. Open your bank app. Actually do not. You will cry. Now open OPay. Green. Clunky. Buttons everywhere. Feels like 2000 Naira phone software. And yet, market women swear by it. Why? Because OPay optimized for speed and certainty, not dribble awards. Transfers show as success in 1 second, even onto G. Her favorite list is huge, because Mama Ngozi sends to the same 5 people daily. Failed transactions reverse instantly. No call customer care. USSD 955 works when there is no internet. Meanwhile, some neobanks spent months perfecting UI animations. Their apps crashed during December rush. OPay SE app processed over 6 million transactions a day that same December. Versus others, Carbon and Fairmoney built great lending apps. But to repay, you had to leave and use your bank. OPay put lending, savings, and spending in one loop. Ugly loop, but closed loop. For you. Stop perfecting your 105 font. Can you solve a problem in 10 seconds? A recruiter does not care if your logo is cute. They care if you make them money by Tuesday. Principle 7. Reward the behavior you want, punish what you do not. Publicly, walk into any pay agent shop. You will see 2 posters. 1. Agent of the month. 1 and 100,000 0. 2. This agent was deactivated for overcharging. Name, picture, shop address. Pay runs its network like a military unit. Agents who do high volume get higher commission, branded freezers, and 0 fee withdrawals. Agents who cheat customers get cut off in 24 hours, and OPay sends SNS to all users. Do not patronize shop at 12 Audber Road. Users who refer friends get instant N600. Users who try to game promos get banned. Compare that to banks. When an ATM seizes your card, who gets punished? You. When a POS agent overcharges, your bank says report to police. OPay takes the blame and the credit. Versus others. Momo and First Money agents will tell you, network is bad, and go back to sleeping. OPay agents know headquarters is watching, so they fight to keep network. For you, if you manage people, or even just a WhatsApp group, reward loud and correct fast. Silence is a tax. Your best people leave when you tolerate the worst. Principle 8. Be Nigerian on the streets, Chinese in the spreadsheets. This is the principle nobody talks about. OPay's face is Nigerian. Their agents, their ads, their influencers. False. Merciati. Broda Shaggy. They speak pidgin. They do Christmas giveaways. They understand urgent 2K. But the brain is Chinese. Opera S team runs OPay like a 2012-era Beijing growth app. Data dashboards track every ward in Lagos. If transactions drop in AG, a team is there by morning. A/B tests run weekly. Button color, cashback amount, referral bonus. All tested on small groups before rollout. They lose money intentionally, but only on channels with measurable payback. No brand awareness billboards. Every Naira must return a user. Versus others. Nigerian-founded startups often do the opposite. Nigerian in the spreadsheets, American in the streets. They raise dollars, hire San Francisco consultants, and build for the African middle class that lives on Twitter. OPay built for the Nigeria that lives at Ashodi under bridge. For you, learn both games. Be local in your marketing. Be global in your measurement. If you sell on Instagram, speak like your customer. But track your DMS like a Wall Street analyst. 3 mistakes other companies keep making. Mistake 1. Fighting for headlines instead of habits. Remember the Fintech that launched with Davido? Or the bank that did a drone show at Eco Atlantic? Big key all are 0 daily users. OPay rarely trends. But ask 10 people in Mushin which app they use today. 7 will say OPay. Habits beat headlines. If your product is not used before noon, you are entertainment, not infrastructure. Mistake 2. Building for Lagos Island, launching in Lagos mainland. So many apps are designed in Lekki meeting rooms. Our user is a 28-year-old product manager with iPhone 14. Then they launch in Kano and wonder why nobody downloads. No Hausa language, no offline mode, no N50 data incentive. OPay started in Onitsha and Ibadan before it optimized for 6. That is why agents trusted it. It worked where the real Nigeria lives. Mistake 3. Treating agents and users like costs, not assets. Banks see agents as channel cost. Telcos see them as commission leak. So they cap earnings, delay settlement, and punish mistakes. Result? Agents push the app that pays them best that week. No loyalty. OPay pays agents faster than banks pay staff. So agents become pay sales force, customer service, and brand ambassadors for free. Lessons learned for entrepreneurs, unemployed, and underemployed. Lesson 1. Pick one enemy and serve their victims. OPay did not fight poverty. Too big. They fought bank charges and queues. Specific. Hated. Measurable. If you are jobless, do not say I need any job. Say I hate my shops collect money without POS wahala. Now you are a weapon, not a beggar. Lesson 2. Distribution beats product. A decent product with great distribution kills a great product with no distribution. OPay's app was fine. Its 500,000 agents were the product. If you bake cake, your taste is not your edge. The auntie who can put your cake in 50 offices is your edge. Partner. Revenue share. Do not be proud. Lesson 3. Speed is a strategy. In Nigeria, trust equals speed. Refund in 1 second equals trust. Reply 500 in 2 minutes equals trust. Show up when others give excuses equals trust. OPay won because when bank said 48 hours, OPay said, now. Who can do the same? Be the fastest replier, fastest deliverer, fastest to say sorry. You will eat. End of part 2. So now you have seen 8 principles. 4 from part 1, 4 today. You have also seen the 3 mistakes at very good companies in Nigeria. But we are not done. In part 3, I will show you OPay's biggest near-death moment that nobody talks about, how they survive CBN policy changes every quarter, and the exact script you can use to pitch yourself using OPay's model. Even if all you have is a phone and street sense. This training is for you, for you're tired of hearing the system is hard, and you want a real case study from the trenches. Do this before part 3. 1. Subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. We are building a community of people who do not just complain about Nigeria. We study how to win in it. 2. Comment, agent, if you have ever used OPay to send or receive money. I am reading every comment, and I will reply with a personal tip based on Paybeek's playbook. See you in part 3. Title: The Day a Chinese App Outsmarted Nigerian Banks and Won the Street. Part 3. The Night OPay Almost Died, and the Script That Can Save Your Hustle. Let me start part 3 with a confession. OPay will never put in a press release. Was March 2020. COVID hit. Lagos locked down. And overnight, OPay's entire engine, agents on the street, shut down. No movement, no cash, no transfers. For a company that lived on daily transactions, that was death. Their bike business was already banned. Their food business was bleeding. Now their core, payments, flatlined, because Mama Ngozi could not leave her house to fund her wallet. Most Nigerian startups would have raised their hands. Force majeure, lay off staff, wait for government palliative. OPay did the opposite. And that night is why they are still here today. This is part 3. We will close the loop on the OPay Nigeria case study. You will see how they survive CBN Wahala every quarter, the near-death moment that taught them their biggest lesson, and I will give you a word-for-word script to pitch yourself using OPay's model. Even if you are unemployed right now. The near-death moment. When the street disappeared, lockdown meant 2 things for OPay. 1. Agents had no cash to float transactions. 2. Users had no reason to open the app. No markets, no transport, no bills. Revenue dropped by over 70% in a week. Here is what they did not do. They did not beg. They did not pivot to health tech. They went back to principle 3, lose money to buy time, but smarter. In 48 hours, OPay did 3 things. 1. They gave top agents interest-free overdrafts. Float now. Payback when Lagos opens. Agents became micro banks overnight. 2. They pushed OPay bank account transfers with 0 fees and instant reversal. When other apps were failing, OPay became the most reliable way to send money to families stuck in the village. 3. They turned the app into a lifeline. You could buy airtime, pay for Steve, and donate to COVID relief, all with cashback. They were not making profit. They were making habit. When lockdown lifted, users did not come back to OPay. They never left. Meanwhile, banks were still reconciling failed transactions from March. Lesson: your biggest crisis is your competitor's biggest opportunity. If you can solve pain when it is loudest, you own the customer for life. How OPay survives CBN policy changes every quarter. If you do business in Nigeria, CBN is your second government. New circular every market day. Here is OPay's survival playbook and why others keep getting slapped. 1. Read the signal, not the noise. When CBN announced the Naira redesign and cash scarcity in late 2022, banks' limited withdrawals and POS charges spiked to 500 Naira. Chaos. OPay saw early. They increased agent float, pre-funded wallets, and told users, transfer to OPay, cash out with any agent. For 3 months, OPay was the de facto cash supply in Nigeria. CBN later accused fintechs of hoarding cash. OPay showed their agent transaction logs at free. Data beats drama. 2. Own your license stack. Many fintechs partner with banks. That means when CBN sneezes, they catch cold. OPay acquired a microfinance bank license. It issues its own accounts, cards, and INUBANs. So when CBN banned crypto and threatened accounts, OPay could ring-fence risk. Others got their accounts frozen. Versus others. Some competitors still run on sponsor banks. One compliance issue, and your whole business stops. OPay pays the price to control its destiny. 3. Make regulators look good. CBN wants financial inclusion numbers. OPay delivers them. Over 40 million wallets. Over 500,000 agents and all 774 local governments. When you help the regulator hit their KPIs, they protect you. When you just complain, you are a target. For you, do not fight the system publicly. Find what your LGA, your union, or your boss is measured on. Help them win. You become untouchable. The script: pitch yourself using a pay-as model. You are unemployed, underemployed, or on social security. You want to start something. Here is the OPay style script. Fill in the blanks. Step 1. Pick the giant S blind spot. Most banks, companies, bosses ignore market women, students, people who need N1K urgent because it is too small or too stressful. I do not. Step 2. Lead with zero friction. So I am offering free 105 review. First delivery free. No sign times, so you can test me without risk. Banks charge N5 too. I charge 0. Step 3. Use humans as trust. I am not just an app. I am your neighbor. You can WhatsApp me at 9 p.m. if there is issue. I will reply in 1 minute. If I fail, I refund you plus apology airtime. Step 4. Build the loop. After I help you get the job, sell your product, I will also coach you for interview, bring repeat buyers. So you do not need 10 people. Just me. Say that to 5 shop owners, 5 job leads, or 5 clients. 1 will bite. That is your first agent. Treat them like OPay treats top agents. Reward them. Make them famous. They will bring you 10 more. Final lessons from the Pay case study for you. Lesson 1. Start where trust is cheapest. OPay did not start with TV ads. It started with a guy at the bus stop who could cash you out. Where can you be the guy at the bus stop for your skill? Be that person today. Lesson 2. Endure the dip. OPay lost bikes, lost face, lost money. But it kept the wallet. You will lose gigs. You will get ignored. Keep the one thing that compounds: skill, relationship, or reputation. Lesson 3. Your competition is not who you think. OPay's real competition was not Kuda. It was cash. It was I will come back tomorrow. It was network day fail. Your competition is not the other applicant. It is the employer's doubt. It is the customer's procrastination. Kill that, and you win. Closing. The street is still open here. MTN will moat spending. Palmpay is aggressive. CBN is watching. But Populi taught us something. In Nigeria, the winner is not the first, the biggest, or the smartest. It is the one who understands the street and moves faster than regulation. You do not need Opera's millions. You need OPay's mindset. Attack where giants sleep. Use people, not just code. Lose small to win big. Build loops. Obey the regulator, but outthink them. Be ugly, but useful. Reward loudly. Be local on the ground, global in your head. That is the playbook. Your next move. Part 1 gave you the spark. Part 2 gave you the strategy. Part 3 gave you the script. Now I need you to act. Subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. We are building the only community in Nigeria where we break down real case studies like this every week. No theory, just street-level tactics for entrepreneurs, job seekers, and anyone tired of being broke. Comment street WN if you read all 3 parts. I am picking 5 comments to jump on a free 15-minute strategy call this week. I will help you apply a pay-as model to your own hustle. The banks had 100 years. Pay had 5.